neighborhood 40 years, and I got started baking since I was 9 years old. But I started Carrot Top to pay my way through school and my daughter's way through private school.
And how did you originate the baking business in your apartment, and where were you living?
I was living on Post Avenue, 110 Post Avenue, and I was baking for 6 correctional facilities a week.
How did your business take off? What inspired you?
I became a widow, and I wanted my daughter to continue private school, and I wanted to continue my education.
But why baking as opposed to something else?
Well, my mother taught me how to I've been baking since I was 9 years old, so it was second nature. It was second nature, and it was it was something that I could do, and it didn't interfere with my course of study in college. You know, it's because it was second nature. I didn't have to put a lot of thought into it. You know, because I was very good at it. It comes natural.
But you were one of the, if not the first, small business owners in the neighborhood. What was it like to start out back then?
It was very hard because no one believed that being this far up at the end of Manhattan, that I would be able to draw people. I would be able to draw the customer base that it did because of the difference in the diversity of the nationality of the neighborhood at the time. And everybody thought that it was so far off the beaten track that no one would be attracted to it. And then Channel 7 News did a story about me. And overnight, I went from wholesale to retail.
Where was the first store located?
This is the first store.
And what's the secret to your success?
Never changing the quality of your product, and keep making sure that whatever you sell, that you would eat yourself. You have to keep integrity and never compromise on any part of what you do. You have to give everything. You have to give your whole self to your product.
And you're noted for your carrot cake. What's the secret there?
The secret is it's the same cake it's the same recipe I made when I was only making one cake at a time, and I never changed any of the ingredients or skimped on the quality of all the ingredients I used for the cake.
How many people from the neighborhood do you employ?
In this location, I would say at least 8 to 10 people.
And your other location is?
Well, in this store, no, I'm sorry. In this store, we only have 3 employees because it's a very small store.
But total with the store in?
I would say no more than 8, at least 8 to 10 people.
And you also, would you tell, because you spoke to me a little bit about your charitable work and donating cakes, can you tell me who you work with?
Well, there's at 99 Fort Washington, there's a senior center called Riverstone. I donate to the seniors there. Every month I make sure whoever has a birthday for that month, that they get a birthday cake. Because I adopted a 95-year-old lady there who had never had a birthday party. And she was legally blind, and I gave her the first birthday party, and all the residents there liked it so much that after that, every month, whoever had a birthday for that month, I made sure they had a birthday cake.
Now, how important is Inwood and the neighborhood to you? And would you use the word Inwood in the sentence?
I consider Inwood home. I'm from Ohio, and I've lived in this community longer than any neighborhood since I've moved to New York. I've watched Inwood change. I've watched Inwood go through negative changes and positive changes, and I feel so much a part of it that I take offense when there's something that's not right about it, and I will go out of my way making sure I can do anything in my power to do anything to make improvements or to assist in any project like the Bruce Gardens up in Park Terrace. I support anything and everything that has to do with keeping the reputation and the special uniqueness of Inwood.
And you also sponsor a Little League team, I hear?
I've sponsored a Little League team for 25 years. I've won several championships. I started with the small kids, and I've had all age groups. But every year they have a parade, and I'm very proud of my Little League team. You know, as I said, sometimes they win. For many years they've won first place. Sometimes they don't, but it's just an honor to have my own Little League team and watch the children who come back since I've had a team for 25 years. Those children are now adults, and some of them are parents whose children now are playing for another Little League team.
Is this the only team that gets pastries?
Well, yes. Yes, this is the only team that gets pastries. I used to be a lot more active, and at one point I was thinking about bribing them to give them an incentive to win the games, but I said that wouldn't be fair if I had to bribe them with a cake for winning the game. It would be like, it would be unfair. They have to win on their own merits. But if it were possible, I probably, if my carrot cake, since it has such a uniqueness to it, if they had a secret ingredient to give them everything that they need to win a game, I would make sure before every game everyone had a carrot cookie or a carrot muffin.
And how have you seen the neighborhood change?
Well, for a period, the neighborhood took a change for the worse. For a few years, we had a very serious drug problem here, and but they managed to get on top of it and clean it up and get it under control. I'm not saying drugs aren't in the area anymore, but they're not as rampant as they once were. And I think because of the kind of neighborhood that this is, the people care a lot about their neighborhood and they pay attention, and they'll get behind any cause to make sure that we can correct any wrong that is happening in our neighborhood. You know, that's how I feel. Whatever cause there is, if it'll benefit Inwood, they can always come to me for my support.
Now, I understand that not only did you start out on Post Avenue, but you met your husband here.
Yes, I was baking for Richard Pryor, the comedian, and I have a brother. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I have a brother who's a tailor, and when he found out I was baking for Richard Pryor, he came to New York with just subway fare to my house and wanted me to introduce him to Richard Pryor so he could make his clothes. And when I told him he had to go home, he got a little disturbed and got a little out of control. I put a call into the police, the 34th precinct, and the police that came to my house fell in love with me. And that was 35 years ago. And he designed and built all the Carrot Top pastries. At one point, he even built a bakery on wheels, a full operating bakery that every morning drove all the way down to 55 Water Street, and we baked on the truck, and we made cappuccino and everything, and we were able to deliver by the customers calling the number on the top of the large truck, and they would call our number at the store, and we would radio to the truck, and they would make deliveries down in the Wall Street area, and that went on for 2 years.
So he's really a real partner in this business.
Oh yes, he's the creator behind it. He designed it, and he created also our food. because he's from a family of Italian chefs. So he knows what a good Italian eggplant parm or chicken parm tastes like, or chicken parm hero, or just we have a nice line of deli sandwiches and Italian sandwiches with an excellent red sauce. So when we were once only a bakery and we were eating in different restaurants, every time we always chose restaurants that one day, if we had our own, it would be the kind of food that we would sell. So we used to eat our deli sandwiches at the Stage Deli. So the portions of our sandwiches, the reason why they're so large is that was one of our favorite places for a good pastrami or corned beef sandwich. Our Italian food, we ate down in Little Italy at a famous restaurant called Vincent's. So my brother-in-law used to come and make all of our sauces and all of our eggplants and our lasagnas and our full line, all of our meatballs and everything. So we know what a good Italian sauce is supposed to taste like.
So getting back to Inwood, where do you see Inwood going as a community? That's my last question.
I think Inwood is never going to change. And if Inwood ever change, it will always be a change for the better. Inwood is like the best kept secret in Upper Manhattan, unless you have a reason to come up here, or and you don't know it exists. But once you discover it, and you discover our wonderful parks and the history of Inwood and everything, and Carrot Top, you know you found home. Although this is New York, and a lot of people are not from New York, but that live up here, and they live up here. They feel like they're in a small community and everything, and that's rare for New York being as big and diverse as it is, to actually feel that you're living, that this is your special neighborhood.